Today on Truth Be Troll.
It came up in my algorithm like President plays its first live show. And I'm like, so what? Who the fuck are they?
Come and take a ride.
I had this thought and he kicked it off, but to me, a lot of rock and roll is play acting.
Oh,
Like-
shit.
What you guys talk about before I got
If
here?
you're a wrestler and you're putting on those tights and you're jumping off the turnbuckle, you're eating the turnbuckle, like that's the same as like being in some fancy rock band that's, they're all line dancing together and they're following a script. And
Frank, tell him what did I call it? What do I call it?
Everybody's playing dress up.
dress up, yeah.
Or that new band, President?
That's some bullshit.
Yeah, how corporate fake is
How
that?
bullshit is that? Did you see the pretty boy under the mask, or is
No.
that fake too?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't see that. I just saw all of a sudden everyone's algorithm all of a sudden had this brand new band. Imagine the money that was put behind that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
His
President.
mask looks like shit.
It's like they're trying to do the ghost thing. But no one's heard of this band. It's like they haven't even been around long. It's like a boy band. It's like a corporate boy band.
It's
like where it was
crap.
It was put together with a lot of money and pushed at the top of everyone's algorithm. Have you seen this yet, Frank? This band, President?
No.
See, I got a cheap mask. See, yeah, Senor Mysterioso. Nobody gave a shit about him before he put the mask on.
Yeah, but it's like the amount of attention they're getting.
It's not real. The attention's not real. Like buying onto a festival and
Do they even exist? I was wondering if they even existed, if it wasn't just a full AI creation, but I guess they just recently had it came up in my algorithm like President plays its first live show. And I'm like, so what? Who the fuck are they? And why do they get all this attention? Their first live performance and
none of the imagery is original. That's not original.
no, not at all. That's Manson's cross thing, except right side up.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass on that one. I don't give a fuck if he's the next.
So
Beethoven.
so generic. Like I have more respect for Sleep Token than these assholes or Ghost. These guys have been at it for fucking
sure.
years and years and years, putting the
What
work
were you
in.
guys talking about?
I don't remember how it got started, but we were just talking about like trying to do music at our age. Unless you have an active career, in my opinion, it's a hobby. Even if you play like 3-4 shows a month, who are you playing to? Are you just playing for your friends, the same crowd over and over? It's like dress up. You're playing dress up. You're
I
like,
defend
hey, look
you.
at
If you're
look
playing
at what I
because you
can
love
do.
it, I defend if you do it because you love it. That's the only excuse.
100%. And what I mean,
And what tells you that you love it, or what tells?
Oh, it
because
just
you're
makes
having
you feel
fun.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if
you're
you're
having
having fun playing dress up, if you're playing 3
Doesn't
shows,
mean you're not fucking delusional.
well, that's what I'm trying to get from what you guys are talking
maybe
about.
I am now,
Well,
but
the
whatever. I'm
question,
not hating.
Well, the question is, what are you getting out of it? If you're not
Right.
making money from it, you're spending
Spending money, yeah.
So it's a hobby, but you get the joy of sharing your, it's like when you're a little kid and you make a drawing or something or build a sandcastle. You're like, look, mom, look, mommy, look, dad, look what I made. I made this. Look at it. Isn't it great? It's
Man,
like
that hits home. Stuff it.
some people, they don't even need that response in return. It's I get it. It's like, it can be a form of meditation just to perform and it's real if you get to share it with even just your friends. I don't know. I totally get it, but it does. Sometimes it feels silly.
How early on were you onto that? When did you figure that out?
Relatively recently.
Recently?
I think so. Because I know it was
That's
always,
that's different.
it was always just fun. For me, it was always, any music was straight up just a hobby. I have never claimed to be a musician.
Oh, playing. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Fair as fuck, yeah.
Yeah. It's just, it can be fun. It's an excuse to drink. It's an excuse to party. It's an excuse to socialize.
That's actually part of why I stay away from it. I'll be real, because they are definitely connected with me.
Oh yeah. And most people, I guess.
Maybe. I know it is for me though, and I'm not playing like. There's no point in me playing some loud rock and roll without some kind of drink and whatever, you know.
Right. And I've never been in front of stages like you guys have, but I imagine, or you know, Ken Susie, you know, Jesus, he played Vacuum or whatever. What is that? Fucking 60,000
like
people,
90,000
fucking people. I mean, I can't imagine what that feels like. That's like a drug. I'm sure you cannot have that feeling any other way than.
I think that's why backstage Ken finds his way far from the stage and back home. Sometimes backstage Ken will creep out.
Backstage, you're right. You're right. He does. He keeps it totally separate though, because he'll play in front of 90,000 people, and then a couple weeks later has no problem playing in a side band like Swivel, which is fucking great, but he has no problem going way out of his way up to play a show up in Maine for a crowd of 15 people in some little dive bar, and he seems to fucking love it.
He loves hanging out with the people that he loves hanging out with.
Is it like a sick? Is it like a fetish where he's like, I just played in front of 90,000 people. Now I'm going to get off on playing in front of 10.
No, he knew it was silly from the get-go, I think that's, if not to speak for him.
No, I don't think he knows between 15 and 90 in his mind. He's just going to fucking kill.
That's it.
Yeah.
That really is it.
But he's aware, though. He's always, even you look at all his interviews, not that, like I said, we're not speaking for him, but like his interviews reflect somebody who's like, I know what this is all
totally. So he's
shit.
He's grounded, right?
Yeah.
But he's made money doing it,
even knowing that it's horseshit.
Even knowing that it's horseshit, but to see him play like a tiny, like say, plays O'Brien's to a handful of people. He plays as hard as he does in front of 90,000 people. So we should have asked him. It's got to be some, and you would know, you guys know, it's got to be some form of meditation. It's not a narcissistic thing with you guys.
Well, now you're in the absolute opposite of where we started in the conversation.
Where did we start?
Way different. The fake shit, like play acting.
Right.
I wanted to jump in about.
But is play acting? Do you say play acting is like tribute bands or like cover bands?
People that go to the mall with their cockadoodle
originals
bands, original bands that are playing dress up. And what makes them the guys that are playing dress up versus someone who's actually playing dress up? Like, how about imitators? Like, let's say Vegas, Elvis.
So dress up on purpose. Right, you're in a cover band, like the Stuff or whatever. Right. When we were doing
tribute or cover.
That's different too.
Those are both dress up. If it's a full tribute where you're,
but a lot of cover bands just have like Ned Nerdley from Getting Out of Stop and Shop, and
so. But if you do something fun with it, like Mini Kiss, it's a tribute. You know what I mean?
Seen Mini Kiss, bro.
So they're dressing up, but it's fucking you're going to see these. You're going to see dwarves as Kiss.
I have an awesome perspective on this though, because. I know Frank knows, but my drummer who passed away from our band, he worked in State Street, and he would wear a 3-piece suit every day, buttoned up, and I'm like, really buttoned up. Like, he didn't want nobody knowing nothing about him, and I'm like, what do they think about your tattoos? He's like, I'm not showing those bitches nothing. Like, and he worked there for like 20 years, and like a few of them would get to see that. Like, he's the opposite, because when he takes his, covered from head to toe in tattoos, and he's a gnarly, just raging drummer, none of that shit. He would show them none of it. So he's like the opposite. It's like backward shit,
Right.
Yeah. That's some other need.
Isn't that kind of bizarre? Yeah. But he saw a path to money. And he wanted to be a musician.
Well, yeah, he just is an achiever. He wanted to achieve that too.
I wonder why he felt the need to be a Clark Kent about it, though. Like, he thought his music was his superpower.
I can't speak for him, but I think he probably didn't have a ton of respect for those people the way that they probably did in the rest of their lives.
Right.
I remember Howard Benson in the studio one day saying to us, he was like guessing what we all did for day jobs. This was a long time ago. And he looks at Mick, and Mick's like, well, what do you think of me? And he goes, Are you a trash guy? And Mick didn't take offense. He goes, I wish I got more respect for those motherfuckers. Which is like, he wasn't joking. Like, he wasn't like, but that, I don't know, just kind of dichotomy. I wouldn't say he was play acting. He was play acting at work.
So he worked in like an office cubicle situation?
Oh, he worked on State Street in the building. Like, he was one of them.
I always wondered what the other side was like. Is it like the show The Office? It's got to be to some degree.
To him, it must have been a fucking pathetic joke, knowing his mindset. It must have been, I don't know, maybe he figured out a way to deal with it. I would have been like, this is unacceptable. But that's kind of when real musicians have to hang out with some like clown. Like, them being around is like unacceptable. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're talking about performance, right? Being out there on live, actually putting in the effort to get on stage, to book the shows, to get up there and play in front of people, right? That what we were talking about?
Yeah.
And that's where are you playing dress up versus are you doing this for meditation or some sort of spiritual thing? I mean, I obviously don't play much. I don't, you know what I mean? And I know, speaking for me, I have intentions when I get up there to sing the songs, and they were, especially being directed so one-on-one, a lot of those lyrics have to be sung to people who I'm like, you know what? I want to get up there and say this kind of stuff, because I have intentions of being able to get inside and be like, yo, how you feeling when I say this kind of stuff to you, And if I don't feel like doing that, I don't do it. I don't have the need to get up there and be seen or any of that kind of shit. I don't feel that way. I don't
think. You're very interesting for two reasons. What you just said, you barely care, but when you're there, you really work it. But the other thing is, this man went on stage for years with duct taped dickies and fucking like the same outfit a trash dude would wear for years. Yeah. Now that is dressing up 100%, but not the way everybody does it.
Yeah, he would dress up as a blue collar worker.
Well, he is. He's going to leave here and go fucking.
That's my point.
Pave a driveway or something.
The guy has been paving driveways since he could hold a shovel. So is it dress up?
I don't know. I mean, but he knows he could have put on some fancy clothes.
Thank God we're not paving really anymore. At the time though, that's what we were doing. So it was
a gimmick, but it was real. Gimmicks can be real.
Yeah, the guys that don't have a gimmick, that's their gimmick type of thing.
Right.
That fall, I guess, I don't know. You could look at it that way. But I'm saying as far as like performance, so we could have just wrote those tunes and just stayed in the studio, be a studio band, listening to your demos, half of them finished, and be satisfied with it. But it's another thing to take this and want to put it in front of people. What are you trying to do? Like, you know what I mean?
Like Sleep Theory? Or Sleep Token, whatever they are.
Oh, Sleep Token,
the world's most boring. Yeah.
What's the deal with Sleep Token?
Who knows? But they were playing shitholes a couple years ago, and now they're legitimately.
What popped them off? What set them off?
They're a fucking mystery band. How the fuck do I know?
Maybe
dude?
The gimmick.
All my friends
masks.
listen to that shit, and I'm literally like, I sent them a video of a dude making food out of ice. He was like shaving it like a professional chef and putting it in like. He was putting it in everything a real chef would do, but with ice, and it was just so bland. And I was like, here you go, you fucking, this stuff's boring to me, but they are theater. I'll say this, their light show is just fucking
they got money.
Killer.
They got money now, so yeah, they put on a show. I can't I'm having a hard time getting into them. I guess I haven't committed to it, but it's at the point now where I've had enough people be like, yo, here's the new Sleep Token, man. I didn't like them at first, but they are like, I definitely checked out, the drummer is on another level. He's got a really, really unique groove. He's got a really unique style. They're incredible musicians. That's undeniable. But it just hasn't grabbed me yet.
So if Dream Theater put on fucking masks and we didn't have to see their nerdy little faces doing math,
they'd have a bigger audience.
No doubt about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to look at Mike Portnoy. I don't want to see him.
It's not like looking at Tommy Lena's giant baby arm of a dick swinging around upside down. It's a little bit different. You know who's the master, though? For real? Banksy. He was the master. I know everyone knows who he is now, but...
I don't.
You don't?
No.
He's the singer in that fucking UK band there.
Dude, that hasn't been proven.
Sure. Yeah, it has.
Really?
Yeah. Pull it up.
Huh.
Pull up who is Banksy, and I'll tell you when his name. It is.
No
but
shit.
let's assume that it's still wrong. That's cool too.
That's what I'm saying.
He did it in such a unique, absolutely fucking dope way.
Yeah.
Because the art was original, and if it
Yeah.
wasn't, it's original to most people.
Yeah.
You know, his influences and who he was stealing it from was minuscule.
That was awesome.
That
Yeah.
him shredding that painting
Yeah, that
was
was-
just fucking.
The-
that had to be fake, dude. The
I
people
don't
had to
know.
be in. I didn't think so until like right this minute, but I'm like,
yeah, maybe.
you're gonna take a giant frame like that, and it's gonna weigh a certain amount, and you're not going to wonder anything and look and inspect the product.
I mean, dude, a shredder doesn't cost that much. Those frames
it's
are
not
wood
about
and
how much
heavy.
it costs. It's about the size of it.
A shredder? You could fit a tabletop office shredder in there.
Dude, in a picture frame.
Yeah.
I
yeah, you're right.
disagree. I
You're
think
right.
the frame had to be like, 2, 3, 4 inches off the wall. I remember it being a little bit bigger. I don't know.
So everyone was in on it?
No, I actually didn't think that until I just piped off like a lunatic, but it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, totally.
but that was
I
a
wasn't
killer
there.
stunt on many levels, fake or otherwise, just
True.
brilliant.
True. Either way, brilliant move. Yeah, because it sold for what, like $5 million.
And then when they
It's-
fucked it up, it went up.
It went up.
Yeah, it went up substantially when it got fucked up.
So who is this motherfucker? What's the band that he was in?
How can
Allegedly.
you not find it?
Allegedly.
Type in Banksy singer. What's the band? Why am I forgetting?
He looks familiar.
He's in the band's pretty big. Massive Attack. I forget. Yeah, Massive Attack. Yeah,
Oh, really?
yeah. They're not small.
I feel, we'll never know for sure. I mean, how
We'll
can you,
never
can you
know for
prove-
sure. It's not like
Yeah.
a fucking pyramid, bro. It's Banksy.
It's conspiracy. It's fun.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I should have played into that one.
No, you're not. I mean, it's on the same level.
I'm gonna do a Frank C. Nobody's gonna know.
Oh,
I blew it.
You face Frank on
I'll delete
Banksy.
that part.
You're the opposite. Everyone knows it's you right away.
Yeah, he's doing
Franks.
Franksies for 20 years, dude.
That's
Peanut
it.
Brothers, come get a Franksy.
Yeah.
And that's not what you think. That's
They're
an
onto
actual
me.
tattoo.
They're on to me.
Mick's wife texted me in the middle of talking about that
Dude.
randomly. There you
If
go.
my brother was here, he'd be like, "Dude, that happens to me all,
All
the
the
time.
time.
It's constant. It's
all
this
the time.
Synchronicity.
synchronicity."
When I saw it pop up, I'm like, oh, she knows. Whether she knows or not, she knows.
It's like the Casper the Ghost thing. So it's not. Is it coincidence or is it all part of a design that's been pre-written? What is it? What do the numbers say, Foster?
Well, the numbers say that if you're going to put on leather chaps with no ass and scream into a microphone, people will notice. That's what the numbers say. But
Yep.
they have to be assless. I don't know. How the fuck do we get there from play acting? Confucius say.
We have no structure. Got no bloody structure.
Yeah, we do have no structure. Sorry. If you're still here, well, it's not too late to quit. Yo, why did we even bring this up? Because it was a conversation you guys were having and you immediately deferred to him, and I never even got to hear the point of why this whole thing started at the top, if you recall.
I don't know. I feel like I was a Debbie Downer that day. Frank was talking about getting music going again, and I just had my typical car ride mouth Tourette's diarrhea.
well, what you
and-
do, you stop putting these pictures in my head, and then I start seeing them, and then I'm like, ah. And then, because then I'm like, well, wait a second, I'm not dressing up. But then I'm like, well, everybody is.
Yeah.
Everybody's climbing. So I'm talking about the process from going from writing a little tune
Yeah,
and
and
just
then you gotta
and
show-
being
you gotta show
satisfied.
it, right?
Then you got to show.
You gotta
You
show mom.
don't. You don't. I don't got to stand up in the middle of a
Oh,
restaurant
it's
and
so
show
funny.
everybody my new song.
You
right?
gotta go,
restaurant.
yeah, look what I made.
Oh.
And but you're
Maybe
showing.
I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, when we were kids, I mean, trying to get my parents' attention, we we gave up, and then we were just like, all right, we're gonna do our thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was cool. But the attention that the attention that we got, yeah, maybe it was the byproduct of us, maybe wanting to, we'd be like, hey, this is what we're doing. Look at this. Look what we're doing, and we're trying to just. We're kids watching top 40 MTV videos. We're like, all right, well, I want to do that. So how do you do that? And you just kind of, so playing dress up was never even a thought of mine. We could play tunes. We were like, oh, we play some originals.
I guess, right.
Because we never even went to covers. We played some covers, but for some reason we felt compelled to write our own music.
Okay, so it's performance. I guess what I meant by dress up was
You have to dress up. No matter how you get on stage, whether you like it or not, you dressed up.
Yeah,
You could be in cut-off sweatpants and a fucking ketchup-stained wife beater. You're dressing up, trust me.
I guess you just, if you're writing your own material, you just throw as much of it at an unsuspecting crowd as you can and hope that the people in the crowd will appreciate the thing that you made, that you're playing
Were you
dress
talking
up.
directly about him and
No.
making new music?
No,
No,
I wasn't.
we were. I think I remember the conversation. We were driving.
There's so many of everyone in our group is practically
A
involved
musician,
with. I got a thing that I do, but it's a hobby.
Right.
It's for fun, and I would like to play a show, not even to just be in front of a crowd, but I don't know. I think it would just be fun. So I'm cool with playing dress up once in a while.
That's funny. I was me and Melissa were having lunch with Ken in April the other day. And me and Ken are having our own talk, and they're having their own talk right there. And me and Ken, I forget what stopped the conversation, but Melissa stops and looks at us and goes, "You two should start a band." And me and Ken look at each other and fucking belted out laughing like, yeah. No, like you don't fucking start bands at this age. No, like you don't start from zero. It's ridiculous.
That's another.
That's
another part of. I guess. Yeah, it's like if you're starting from zero or near zero.
That's awkward.
What are you doing? You know what I mean? What are you doing? But I also get it. I get it. If it's more for you than to get everyone to go, oh my God, look what you did. Look what you did.
I don't
look
like
what you made. That's so good. Oh my God, that's so good. I love that. If
I need to rethink my entire social media now that you said that, because yeah.
No, but dude, I'm not saying that we don't enjoy or didn't get something from people coming up being like, yo, dude, that was sick, or some girl being like, oh my God, I loved it. Yeah, I fed off of that like crazy, and
Totally.
and we had especially Walton, when we started playing music, we were just writing songs. We didn't know what we were. Dirty Larry was just, you couldn't be more in different directions. We're just doing whatever we wanted, but we were friends. We were just together. We're playing music, and we were out there like, this is how you do it. Everybody just books a show and gets up there and just does this, right? But we didn't have like any guidance in the way that somebody be like, hey, you are a pretty good singer, you're a pretty good guitarist.
Right, but
let's structure it. If somebody structured us, then maybe we wouldn't even be talking. There would be somebody who had kind of like led us because they had all the tools.
The formation of your.
We were just hanging out. We were having a good time together.
That was back in the good old day when it was a natural thing, and if you stuck with it.
The Walton thing was different. The Walton thing was definitely a social experiment. Started by definitely my brother, because we were just at the point where we're like, well, we didn't want to do what we were doing anymore, the type of music we were doing, and we were going to break off. And if we break off, that means we're not going to hang out the same way. So my brother was like, I've refused that. And he just concocted this, hey, why don't we try this?
Yeah.
And it kept us together hanging out. But it was more focused. We were like, well, we got to come from work. This is how we're going to look. And then whatever.
All wonderfully natural and organic, that process, I guess. Because there's a history, your band has a history, you've had success. I guess what I meant was, why try to start anything new at our age or at this point in time?
Yeah, no.
Why would you, unless it's just for you? Like, you know what?
Right, because you love it.
That's
only because you love it.
Stand by that
That's
part
it. You love it, and and you're
And that's cool.
Even if it's the same 10 friends that show up to every show, you still want to play 3 shows a month for whatever reason. It's still fun for you to load all your gear up, go to some venue that is a pain in the ass to go up or downstairs with all your fucking equipment, go through all the hassle of setting up just to play for 30, 40 minutes in front of the same 10 people, maybe 3 new people each time. And still, there's something in that process.
I'll tell you exactly what it is, because this is what turns me on. I never wanted to give a shit about fans. I'll tell you, when it started happening, that was very cool. And we got to a certain point where it was like, we're at a concert handing out flyers and people are recognizing us. That was always odd to me. So I literally love the feeling of a drummer crushing and 2 guitars just ever so slightly out of tune, and the bass is just ripping loud and everything's blended perfect, and the singer is just, I don't care anymore. So it's like really about that feeling. And people who don't play music, it's a little tougher to explain, but you're in the middle of these vibrations and it's so loud that it's like, oh my God, like you're in another universe. Like things aren't right. Air is moving in weird ways. It's crazy. It's super cool. I love that. I fucking really love that.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that. Now, there is effort that has to get put in order to get to that point. So let's say a band that was already something and they want to go and try to get it back together or whatever, which I don't know if we're talking about let's get something going or what we should or whatever. Maybe we might have even been talking about the stuff. I don't know. We were talking about bands,
right?
If I remember the conversation correctly. And then you're just kind of like, well, then you got to book the time to rehearse. Everybody got to knock the rust off.
You know what?
And then maybe it might feel like a costume if you're talking about, because you got to climb back up looking like you did when you were doing it.
We were I guess we might have been talking about one of our side projects, which is all original stuff.
Right.
And I was like, why? Nobody's heard this shit. If we're gonna try to get a group of people together and take time to rehearse and get gigs and perform, let's do stuff that people already know and love. Let's do fucking covers, because that's what you know, the people love the song, so you play it well. And for me, if I'm gonna be playing live, for me, it's I want to be able to look out and see people enjoying the music.
Right.
So if you're playing original stuff to a group of people that have never heard it ever, you know what I mean? It's you might get lucky and have a few people.
No, you're not going to get
even
lucky.
when you think about it, when you go to see your favorite band and they're like, oh, here's a brand new one, and you're listening to it, it's like 50-50. You're either going to be like, what the fuck is this?
Let me tell you something. When Paul McCartney pulls out a new song, first of all, he prefaces it by saying, I know none of you want to hear this, but we're going to play it anyways. And even the great ones,
right?
They're not bad. They're just not, you know, but he knows and he don't give a fuck.
Right.
Yeah.
But at least he keeps it short.
Right. But imagine playing a whole set.
That drives me
that you've
crazy
never heard
when I see some old band with the maddest hits, like a nasty old band whip out a bunch of shit songs that no one knows. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah. So
it should be only 1 or 2.
Imagine go seeing Leonard Skinner, whatever incarnation, and all they did was just play their new song.
Dumb.
Yeah, no, that happens all the time. It's crazy. It's because the ego takes over.
How many years until you think there's a trend where people are performing lip syncing AI music that they create
already?
So you could create like
how many years?
I just mean,
are we going backwards?
Yeah, a year ago.
Wait,
but they
it's
sing
mainstream where people are paying money to go see people perform.
Well,
just
they've been doing it
lip-syncing.
in Japan for like 40 years. It's called karaoke, and this is just a new iteration of karaoke, isn't it? At that point,
Well, are you saying
I'm saying
somebody
like
comes up
bands
with
are-
AI music? They're not. They don't play a stitch on it, but they are the ones who are promoting that music.
Yeah, it's kind of like what Ben was saying, where it's like you got to put time into rehearsal and moving amps and everything. Where songwriting too. So if you can bypass that with writing AI music, and you can go out and get that same feeling by dancing around, lip syncing.
that's what rappers do.
Yeah.
They literally, there's no fucking around anymore. They literally put the track on.
Yeah, there's no DJ even.
There's no nothing.
Or it's behind this.
And I'm talking because I know. I know.
Yeah.
And there's not even a pretend. Like,
and they don't take out the vocal either.
they don't. They do not take out the vocal. They sing to the track,
Yep.
probably on Spotify.
Yep.
I'm not joking. This is fucking banana world.
It's an
we live in.
appearance, essentially.
That's
of
it.
that art, that human
that
being. It's
is
an appearance.
a massive form of fucking play acting.
Right.
That's
Right,
same
right.
thing. And they'll keep playing shows. But I mean, I guess, yeah. I mean, that's what I was saying. If you're going to do it for me personally, because I don't have much of a history of known music. So if I'm going to, bring all the equipment to a gig, play a gig, I almost want to guarantee that the people in the audience are going to enjoy it.
Well, you should
Right.
you should
And I
guarantee
don't-
you enjoy it first, then
I'll
them.
enjoy it because I already know I'll enjoy it because we're playing covers of songs that I fucking love. So I already love, but I have fun playing them at rehearsal
Right.
for just us because they're fun songs to play. So if I'm going to move all of my shit somewhere else to get the same feeling, I need a little something more, which means there needs to be a crowd that also is loving those songs that are being played.
Join a wedding band, bro.
Exactly. That's my point. Yes.
You don't want to.
But the
know
stigma to being a wedding band, is that a deterrent for
They
some
make
people?
money, bro.
Maybe.
and money.
They
But
make
you gotta
money.
Be nasty.
You got to have a huge. You got to be good. You got to have a big library, but like, I guess I'd want to be more focused. Like our library would be focused on a particular
When
type
I was a
of
kid,
hit,
my
80s synth.
So if you're
hit.
getting hired, it's very.
yeah, you know,
you're hiring this.
if we get hired, it's because these are the guys that do the 80s synth hits.
when we were kids, my drummer's parents were in a wedding band. Mom was beautiful. Dad was the drummer. She was the singer. And so I'm like, yeah, well, what do they do? Well, what do they do for? And he's like, what do you mean? That's what they do. And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, yeah, dude, they make like fucking 10 grand a weekend. I'm like,
Exactly.
what? Yeah, that's the shit right there.
Just guaranteed enjoyment is a cover charge versus doing your own material. It's almost like jerking off in front of your friends. Like, oh, look what here's a new song. I love it. I love this song. I just made it. It's so good. Oh, what do you think? And they're like,
You know how many
like it.
bands I've worked with that are doing that?
well, yeah.
They should have just done that on me. They wasted all my time. No, but we have a mutual friend, and I'm sorry if I told this. I don't know if I told it, but we all have a mutual friend here, and I recorded and produced his records for years, and he was just so terrible. Great dude, so terrible. And one day he looks at me, he's like, "What's up? Who's the worst singer you ever worked with?" And I'm like, dude, why the fuck would you ask me that? And you know damn well it's you. I've told you it's you 300 times. And he's like, whatever, let's go. And he just went into the studio and started tracking. He didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, what is that? The need to some people just need to get that out, I guess. Like doing a number 3.
Is it nerve?
It's a number
I
you
feel
got
like
the
he was
nerve?
testing himself to see if he truly didn't give a fuck, which he didn't. And I respect that.
Right.
But he was still the worst singer I ever worked with, period.
I-
So that's a conundrum.
A lot of people agreed with you, maybe?
I would say everyone agreed with me. Pretty good entertainer, very energetic. It was attractive to girls. And
There you go.
that vibe,
So he was getting, it was a narcissism hit, is what it
for
was.
sure. But heart always in the right place. Not like a bad person or anything. It's just
Right.
it's just funny. Like, how dare you ask me such a question when you know damn well what the answer is?
Well,
Like,
that's-
I feel like you're offending me by asking me.
That's just,
So it's now me who will offend you.
I mean, that is a purely narcissistic question.
I don't mind telling the truth either. I have a little theory, or not a theory, like a saying. I just think to myself, it's like, I'd rather offend you with the truth than hurt myself with a lie. So I'm going to go ahead and just say whatever,
Yeah.
But
Deal.
in the studio too, I think that's some people can't. They get break when they hear that kind of criticism.
Yeah,
You would criticize. You wouldn't criticize me, but you'd push for something that you were like, "Yo, it's not what you think it is. So do it again." And I'm like, "All right, shit." So I think that's important to have, dude. Is that attitude?
Said, I had been ruthless to many a
There were some people, I bet.
Did you ever have anyone, try to fucking throw fists or get in your face?
Oh, probably. I don't really care. I don't.
No, I know you don't care.
No, honestly, out of hundreds, maybe a couple times, but it's always like, come on, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Don't be a bitch.
Try to stop. Stop.
Yeah. Look at yourself.
Look at yourself.
Yeah. Now give me your guitar. I'm going to tune it for you and shut up. No, I'm sure I was out of line many times, but it's all in the name of making something awesome. And if someone couldn't personally handle it, that definitely happened a million times. But, there's a lot of people that are like, yo, let's go harder. Let's make it better. And those are the people that are best. So if you're not doing that, then whatever. You get what you're given. And if you are doing that, you're going to take what you want.
Now, can you take that attitude and put it on stage? And if it is a dress-up event, but you feel that way, can you just channel it in and it not be? Because I think that some people probably would take offense to hearing that you consider, or any of us consider it dress-up.
Well, it's not
I've called it a recital.
It's not
I've said
entirely
that
negative.
I don't do recitals.
You have. I've heard you say.
You know what I mean? And
Right.
and this is not me, maybe not even my words. I think that maybe conversations with some close friends, it penetrated into my head, and I've adopted that thing where I say I don't want to play recitals, and part of it is because maybe I don't want it to stop. And I had said it. I said, listen, we go through all this effort to get everything together. And then you get all these people who are anxious because they're like, oh, you know what? They're going to play. Let's go see them. I just don't want it to stop after one. I wanted to have, a little bit of staying power in some way because, then you can feel like fully. At the first night, it's a blur. You thought you were great. And then you're like, what? You watch it. You know what I mean? So I want to do it because we built it so it would last. And even if it is a band coming in, and it sounds like I'm obviously talking about Waltham the band, but that band has always been that sort of we play when we want kind of situation, or we play when we can. Better said,
well, it makes it
we can't because there's people who can't be available, and
that makes it a little more sacred.
It
makes it a little special.
But during that time where we were like all gung ho, you were gung ho from your band. You have been in a situation where you're just like, now is that dress up like that? Does that?
Yes,
it is, right?
When my band was doing it, was, by the way, 20 years ago was the most comfortable any human had ever been on stage because we were wearing like giant Genko jean shorts and fucking raggedy t-shirts that were like 4 times too big and
chain
fucking
wallets,
backwards hats and shit. And we was sweating and it was just like whatever. Now, oh my God, there's nothing more uncomfortable than the shit any of the bands wear. Tight clothes and all the crap, like the robot looking fucking outfits and everything that people used to put that shit on the cut weight for fucking wrestling. I closed my eyes and it was a wonderful time, like your balls swinging around freely because your shorts were like 22 sizes too big.
It's coming back.
It was more than coming back for sure. It's hilarious.
We're not fooling ourselves. The word hobby in itself, I think, has maybe a bad vibe for certain people. I'm not saying myself. I agree with you. It is a hobby, but the word hobby, I think, just comes out and be like, oh, it's not gluing friggin' planes and cars together. It's not sitting there under, you know what I mean, like a magnifying glass painting little soldiers.
It is though.
It is, right?
So that's why you want to show your friends the model after you've made the model. Hey, look what I made.
Look what I made.
Yeah, but if you're pulling in plaques, gold and platinum records and stuff, and you're bringing in money,
that's work.
It's no longer a hobby.
It's work. Exactly.
That's a job.
It switches and it turns into a job, which in a lot of cases people say, well, once it turned into a job, I started to dislike it. I didn't like it anymore. Right.
No, there is.
I wish I knew better. One of my biggest regrets was not having any business head back in the day, and I let so much shit slip that determined the course of my life. And believe me, I'm cool with the way that my life went, but I had so many opportunities in front of me that as a business person, I did not have the understanding to take advantage of. I was just like a fucking idiot, to be honest with you. I just wanted to make music. That's in the music business, you can be preyed upon for being so fucking ridiculous and naive. Yeah.
Right. We're just dumb to it. You know what I mean? Just you can be dumb. Like we were dumb to it too, man. People calling up and coming as soon as they saw something, they we could see them. They just very like that, like on pursuit.
So I guess quick, the dress up.
We didn't know any better.
The dress up stuff, then I guess is all of this in its purest form. So maybe it's a great thing. It's a great thing.
That's also when you see a great band break out, they usually have their own style. I love it.
Yeah, when was the last time?
Or they bring it back an old style in a new way.
Right.
I mean, that Sleep Token we were talking about, that's like one of the only bands I can think of that is huge with a somewhat unique.
I feel like they're the future of elevator music is that band. I don't know though. Yeah. Go ahead and hate me. Wouldn't know a song if you.
I've just heard enough to be like, all right, that is interesting. They do. I guess. I mean, has anyone else yet combined R&B and metal? It's a weird and pop. Probably.
Yeah.
Like, how many more weird combinations can be done?